Hello guys, how you doing? I'm here with
Kieran Smith.
And today Kieran has just been watching the movie Dredd, based on the 2000 AD character of the same name. I've seen it before. I quite liked it. It reminded me of the old Verhoeven stuff, Starship Troopers, RoboCop, Total Recall, that kind of thing. Nice bit of violence.
Terminators.
Or something like Terminator. But Kieran hasn't seen it before, so we're here to see what he thinks. Just before we start, I'd like to say that firstly, if you haven't seen Dredd, I advise watching it before you see this, because we're going to give away spoilers and stuff. And secondly, you'll understand the video a lot more if you've already seen Dredd. So your understanding of the story?
Yeah.
First of all,
basically, in a nutshell, Dredd is set in the future and in New York, and around the whole entire planet it's irradiated. And continuing on, Dredd is the main hero, and he is partnered up with a psychic who is also a mutant, but she is not such a severe mutant. She is quite normal. There's no abnormalities about her. And basically, Dredd has been set with a task about if the psychic is good enough to join the police force in the future. So basically, they set on their crime patrol, and the psychic, I forgot her name. So
Judge Anderson.
Anderson. She picks a location. I think Evertrees or
Peach trees.
Peach trees. Sorry, yeah.
Over slightly for you.
Peach trees, and they go to explore what's in peach trees, and basically they come across a gang in there, but. Firstly, sorry, they see 3 dead bodies, and Dredd inspects the scene, and Dredd finds that it's some sort of drug on them. So that's like the first part of the film, the main important thing that you can find out.
And then they find out it's a gang.
Yeah, and it's a gang. Yeah,
they basically go.
And they basically bust up the gang, and they find out the gang is actually in control of the police force as well by paying them lots of money.
Okay, so let's see your understanding of the characters. Could you explain what you worked out about Judge Anderson? You've already said mutant. Can you go into a bit more detail about that?
Well, mutant, yeah, basically a lot of characters in the film described her as a freak, and they were judging her if she should be even let out into the public. What
is it that she does that makes her a mutant as such?
What kind of freaked me out about that character is that she can really fuck with people's minds. She can like manipulate and twist the human mind.
And how can she do that?
With her psychic powers.
So she's psychic.
Right. Yes, yeah.
What about Mama? Can you explain what happened with her, who she is and why she is?
Basically, Mama started off when she was younger in New York City. She didn't have a very good life, and she was a hooker. And basically, I think her boss took advantage of her and scarred her with a knife, like really chopped into parts of her skin where she's got a scar on her left eye down there. Right. And basically she ends up completely just annihilating her original boss, and then she becomes the boss of
how does that happen? So let's say, from what you're saying, her pimp scarred her.
Yeah.
And she was a prostitute. What happened after that? Where did this transition take place?
The transition took place somewhere in New York. I'm not too sure whereabouts the location, but she took she basically took his business shares and she used them for her own welfare, and she became very wealthy by it. But she chose to pursue that path even more, where she started going down that road, and she's collected lots of gangs. So she collected a lot of people, but she had to wipe out a lot of the gangs to gain even more control.
Okay. What you're saying about just then about business shares?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? She used her business shares.
Yeah, the original pimp's shares to.
What shares?
It was the prostitute business, wasn't it? So, I think she hacked into their I don't know, his PC or something like that. That's what I picked up in the.
And she used his money.
Yeah, she used his money to start off.
There's a bit in the film where it's said that she ate his dick.
Really?
Did you catch that bit? There's a quote saying that she feminized him, meaning that she basically cut his dick off.
Really?
She was performing oral sex on him and cut
really
his cock off.
Dear.
Yeah, did you catch up on that at all?
No. I only caught up on the bit where Anderson is in a psychic battle with the black man in the film, where she's trying to work out, what the whole actual thing is actually going on in Peach Trees. And you see the scene where Mama is actually biting his cock off. So I thought somewhere along the lines of that she's into that sort of stuff.
You mean she likes biting people's?
Yeah, and cutting guys' knobs off and stuff like that.
Okay.
Beware, guys.
So you were just saying then a psychic battle between the black man and
who will win?
Judge Anderson. Can you explain that, a psychic battle? What happens that causes this psychic battle that you state?
Oh man, I haven't studied psychology, so I couldn't get really deep into it. But the best way I can describe it is I'm sure everybody's been a child and that, and you've had imagination. It's basically, in the film, talking in fictional sense, it's like a big giant imaginary battle, and they actually interlock and heat with each other, and in that present time during the film, you can actually see the characters actually feeling physical pain as well as mental pain as well. So it's sort of like a whole entire different realm, wouldn't you say?
It's a realm. Could you explain the actual setting of the film for us?
Well, as I started off, me chanting on about the whole entire storyline, it's set in New York in the future, and
Mega City 1.
Mega City 1. Was it originally New York, or was it? I'm confused. I heard something about New York, and basically it's a huge city. It's a huge mega city, and it covers a lot of cities from America. So it's sort of all the cities have formed together to make a giant mega city, and then you see basically at the start of the film you see was it irradiated or radiated?
Irradiated wasteland.
Radiated wasteland, just like on Fallout, guys. Yeah. No, alright. It's a radiated wasteland around the mega city, and that's pretty much it, really. What I felt really annoyed about was there was no backstory to explaining, what happened around it. I wish that there is. But
explain it at the beginning. What do you think? What do you personally think is the reason why the world is so irradiated? Why there's so much radiation outside these megacities?
Well, my best bit is that there could have been like a nuclear war.
Okay.
Or secondly, we are our own worst enemies, and you know, bad stuff can happen, and we use nuclear waste, and basically nuclear waste, we put it in the ground and we keep storing that, and you know, what could happen, you know, something like that could I presume something can happen. I don't know all the facts and figures and the scientific bullshit, but there you go.
Now there's a drug in the film called slow-mo.
Yeah.
And obviously the drug is represented a lot in the movie. Can you explain what the drug is, what the drug does?
The drug, I believe, what I've seen from the film, it slows down your brain time to 1%, and it basically makes everything slow around you, and it seems like from the characters in the film that have taken the drug, it seems like their world has expanded somehow. Like they've become immune to what is around us in like normal day life. Really, they're on a high basically. You know, nothing's gonna take them down. It's gold dust all around them.
What do you mean by gold dust?
Basically, when I saw the film, when that part in the film, you can see all of the effects of the drug, and it looks quite golden, and it's all slowed down.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what's cool.
My camera's running out of battery, unfortunately. It's a shame. Just quickly, Kieran, what was your review out of 5? What would you give it?
I would give that. Can I give half? So
Yeah, give half.
I would give it 3.5.
Yeah, I give it 3.5 as well, I think.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it. It's something different. We don't tend to see something as edgy as that in modern day studios. I think we're a bit too afraid. So I quite enjoyed it.
I would say one word to describe that film: bold.
Bold.
Yeah, bold.
Bold. How would you explain bold?
Risk take. You know, like it's hard to come up against Marvel and DC. You know, I could say, you know, a few flaws in that film. You know, there's a lot of they took a lot of inspiration from people. You know, Dredd, he sounded like Batman pretty much throughout the whole entire film, and he walked like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right, Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger. That, you know, and they took that and they took Arnie and they put it into Dredd a bit, as well as Batman. You know how he sounded. And they've made it into their own thing, and I think that's the main thing they've done. They've done their own interpretation of it, and that's what it's all about. So yeah.
Right. So we hope you found that educational as much as I did. Into the mind of Kieran. So that was Kieran Smith. I was Lewis, obviously.
Yeah.
And 3 out of 5 for me. 3 out of 5 for Kieran.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we agree on the same reasons as to why they're 3 out of 5, but I think we were right. Anyway, see you next time.
See you later,
I might
guys.
get Kieran to review something else for me next time. See you guys!
Yeah,